lot of people in the United States don't know really what a nuclear power plant does. There's a nuclear power plant 45 miles away in San Onofre, and over 100 nuclear power plants produce 20% of the United States electricity. General Electric's chief, Jeffrey Immelt, stated that nuclear power plants are safe. You'll find nuclear power plants near large amounts of water because it helps keep them cool and so they don't overheat. Today in this speech, I'll be informing you about nuclear power plants. First, I'll inform you about what a nuclear power plant does. Second, I will inform you about what nuclear fission is. And third, I will inform you about the safety systems they have at nuclear power plants to prevent a meltdown. Nuclear power plants are produced to create energy and also electricity. Uranium is the main source of, it's like the battery, the fuel that runs a nuclear power plant. It creates the heat. The nuclear energy cannot be, it can't be like transverted into electricity right away, but the heat from the uranium makes the water boil that's in the reactor. It causes steam, and that steam turns a turbine that runs into the power grid and makes electricity. Little black pellets are made of uranium that is put into the metal rods by the thousands, and these metal rods, after they're filled up, are put down into the core of the reactor, where when all these uranium atoms are close together, they create a lot of heat, and that's how we get our power from the nuclear power plant. They're stored right here. The water comes in, it boils, it comes through here, and then it turns the turbine with the steam, and that's connected to the generator, which goes to the power grid. After it's there, it drops down and goes back to the form of water, and this cycle keeps repeating over and over again. That's how we get our electricity from nuclear power plants. Nuclear fission is when atoms split up into smaller atoms and other particles that produces the energy. The fission from the uranium elements that creates a lot of heat. An example of fission is like you have a group of marbles that are placed close together on a flat surface, and then you take another marble and you throw it at the group of marbles and you watch them fly everywhere. It's kind of like what fission is. Another example would be like tug of war between strong attractive nuclear force and repulsive electrostatic force. They're just trying to get away from each other. The containment structure in a nuclear power plant is like, it's made of concrete, cement, that's from 3 to 6 feet thick, so that radiation large amounts of radiation doesn't leak out from the plants. Used up fuel, the uranium fuel rods, are put together and are, after they're used up, they have to store them somewhere safe. So they store them in a place called interim storage, which is like just a safe place where they're stored. They either are on the site of the nuclear power plant or they're off the site for safety reasons. They put the fuel rods in water so they don't overheat, because the uranium rods still produce heat even when they're not in the reactor. So they keep them cool, and also the water protects them, protects leakage of radiation from getting out into the environment. The first safety system that is used in a nuclear power plant is when control rods are put between the fuel rods. That stops the nuclear fission from happening. The fuel rods are still hot though, so the water cycle keeps going the same, so they cool down. If that doesn't work, then the second safety system turns on a backup power generator that triggers coolant to be sprayed on the fuel rods, which keeps them cool. If those two don't work, then the water from that steam condenses back into water, and that cycle, the water cycle of the nuclear reactor, keeps going, and that keeps them from overheating. In the northern Japan, where the nuclear power plant is, that all those three failed to work. So that's why we're having so many problems in the nuclear power plant. It's always beneficial to know what's around you, good or bad. I talked about in my speech about nuclear power plants. First, I talked about what a nuclear power plant does. Second, I talked about what fission is. And third, I talked about the safety system that they use in the nuclear power plant to prevent meltdowns from happening. Like Jeffrey Immelt said, that nuclear power plants are safe. I believe that, and I showed you today why they are and how many safety procedures and safety systems they have to prevent meltdowns. Thank you.